It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson here, joined by the great Shaquille O'Neal and the equally great Kenny the Jet Smith. And coming right up, we'll see Montreal playing against New Orleans. And for New Orleans, their first time playing.
Coming at you from beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana, as the Pelicans prepare to take the court. With Brent Barry and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan, and David Aldridge will be joining us on the sideline as well. They're in 9th place in the Eastern Conference, still in the playoff picture, but they could use some wins.
And I think for Montreal, their slow start to this season has brought some of this team's issues to light. And this is a team that I didn't think had any issues to speak of.
Well, still some issues do linger, but I think that their strengths easily outweigh those weaknesses. But man, they've already had some off nights this year, more so than they did last year.
We got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the court right now for Montreal, they've got Clint Capella, center and there with Chris Paul. Then it's Young, and it's Barnes, and at the 3. And so the New Orleans Pelicans get the first points of the ballgame. Back to Paul. Shot clock at 5. Over Irving. And he overshot that one, missing. Montreal on D. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
And you know what? Up against a weak defense, they were allowed to do pretty much whatever they wanted.
Yeah, what I like, though, besides that, is that they just didn't settle for it, because weak defenses, you could take bad shots. That's not what they did here tonight.
New Orleans shooting their first free throws of the night right here.
And for the last few seasons, we've seen where Andre Iguodala's role on offense has diminished. You know, he still contributes, but tends to defer a bit more there. And one thing you can say, though, defensively still at an elite level in terms of his versatility.
And here's Irving following the 3 from Chris Paul. Favors with the screen. Barnes against Iguodala. Back to Irving. One fall coming off Iguodala's feet. Irving's got his first basket.
No stopping Kyrie on the drive right there, getting to the basket with ease.
Paul dishes to Young. Screen by Young. Capella, the pass to Paul. Young, a screen on Favors. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back. A post-All-Star break look now at how the breakdown between three-pointers and other shots have been for New Orleans.
And clearly, they're more focused on attacking inside the arc. It's an old-school style, not settling, but it can also make it tough to compete offensively with teams that can fill it up from distance.
Irving kicks to Bradley. Favors with the screen. Bradley dishes to Favors. Launches it. And Iguodala with the basket, the assist from Favors. 6 points for Andre Iguodala. Hey, Brent, you made the NBA playoffs in your second year. Talk about the mental preparation that goes into one's first postseason as a player.
I think it's always a special time, Kevin, just because of the unknown factor. And at that time, it was the Clippers, my second season, a team that was very young and inexperienced. And so it was all fresh and new. And the biggest challenge for any coach in that sort of predicament is to make sure that players are on task and focused. We certainly were not. The Utah Jazz took care of us, and that's because of one John Stockton and Karl Malone.
He really takes off, just never looks back.
Yeah, by the time anyone even thinks of chasing him, he's gone.
Here's Satoransky. Barnes kicks to Paul. Over Irving. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. Paul's got his second bucket of the night. Irving passes to Drummond. Back to Irving. Drummond sets the screen for Irving. Kicks it out to Iguodala. Takes a 3. Thaddeus Young grabs the miss.
and you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Here's Satoransky looking for his first basket still in this one. Screen by Young. Paul with the three, and another three for Montreal.
Nice job catch and shoot there. Chris Paul making it look simple and caught the defense a little bit out of.
Look at that shot!
Oh man, he did not just do that.
How did that go in? And that concludes the first quarter of play. New Orleans on top. They lead by 5. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. You talk to Chris Paul, and it's clear he was born to play the point guard position.
Fortunately, I've always been vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged, that's classic coming from Chris Paul. But, you know, seriously, Greg, he's taken that challenge and made the most of what he's got. A terrific player.
Really, and you know what? He's actually turned that challenge on his head when he goes right at much bigger players and uses their size against them.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from New Orleans?
So far, they've been active, scoring the basketball, built up a little lead here, and looking good.
Well, when you come out in the first quarter with that kind of offense, obviously the game plan is in full effect. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going.
On the court right now for Montreal, we've got Satoransky. Harrison Barnes is out there with Young. And it's Chris Paul. And it's Capella in at the center position. Iguodala kicks to Irving. They get it back. Favors. That doesn't go, and he's 0 of 1 from the field.
Yeah, just misjudged the layup. Defense has to be better. Very fortunate there.
And we've played just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. Here's Paul. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Paul's got 4 this quarter.
Well, there's versatility in Chris Paul's play. Right now, the scoring is coming from everywhere.
Bradley, no one around him. And the Pelicans get it back. Lobbed up there for Drummond. Out of bounds. Montreal takes possession. Let's bring up the 2K leaderboard and take a look at the leading rebounders since the All-Star break. In the third spot, Clint Capella.
He has taken his rebounding very seriously since the break. It's really paid off for him and his team. And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, he eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
Barnes against Iguodala. Shot from 12. Barnes can't get it to go. The Pelicans have gone 0 of 4 in the second quarter. Obviously, that needs to change. Again, Irving missing. And with Drummond, he does play like towering centers of decades past.
Yeah, I mean, he isn't great at moving the ball around or hitting shots from range, but his size and athleticism are elite and one of the best rebounders in our game.
Kyrie not backing away from the contact there. In fact, welcoming that one tricked you into it.
On the wing, Barnes. Capella dishes to Barnes. We've got 1:23 left in the first half. Barnes with another miss. New Orleans leading by 3. Outside Irving. Kicks it to Favors. Good work defensively by Paul. For Montreal, they've gone 2 of 5 in the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Barnes outside. Back to Paul. 52 seconds left now here in the second. Satoransky, the pass to Paul. Shot on the wing, and it comes off the front of the rim.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Irving kicks to Iguodala. A shot off that time, and it's Montreal the other way. To the paint, and the dunk by Capella.
Well, I like how Chris Paul resets the floor on that possession. Very quick on how he distributes the ball there.
Irving against Paul. Outside Irving. In the corner, Bradley with it. Up again. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
And not afraid to say it. If Drummond isn't the best rebounder in the NBA,
Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
The 2K Sports Halftime
The first
Show.
half in the books. This is Ernie Johnson. This is a competitive matchup for New Orleans in the first quarter. At the end of one, they were able to end up with a 5-point lead. They didn't stop fighting in the second quarter as they maintained most of their first quarter lead and now lead by 3. And that's all we can do.
As we return to New Orleans, a look at some of the buildings along the riverfront here in the Big Easy. Pelicans leading by 3.
Alvin Gentry has to be proud that the responsibilities of playing defense for their squad last year was something that they accepted. They went from a bottom 3 team to a top 10 team defensively just last season.
They've got Iguodala. Favors is out there with Andre Drummond. Then there's Avery Bradley. And it's Irving in at the point guard position. That's Alvin Gentry's 5 as we get into the second half. Barnes outside. Passes it to Satoransky. Paul against Irving. Clock at 4. Tries again. Offensive rebound. And it's sent back by Drummond.
Drummond mixes defensive smarts with elite physical tools, and that's what makes him a solid defender. He's going to get his hands on a few shots each and every game.
And with more talent, you think the Pelicans have a chance, Brent, to step their offense up this season?
Oh, I absolutely do. I think the amazing part about last year is that the Pelicans ended up sliding their way up into the top 10 defensively. That's an area where the likes of a team like the Denver Nuggets needs to make their improvement. Maybe between those two teams, they're battling to find their way into the postseason. Well, it took 4. They finally got one to go. Still, they need to connect on more opportunities to get this quarter going.
And Satoransky kicks to Paul. Over Irving. That one's good. The New Orleans lead is cut down now to just 3 on the bucket from Paul.
Chris Paul never losing focus throughout the course of a game. Even with the D draped on him, he gets the job done.
Drummond a screen. Drummond sets the screen for Iguodala. And it's Iguodala again missing.
Yeah, another missed opportunity, and you can just see the frustration.
Yeah, when your shot's in the fridge like this, it's easy to lose your confidence, and that's why some of the most prolific scorers, they have short-term memories.
And it's Capella missing. New Orleans leading by 3. To the middle, here's Irving. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup. Irving's got 11 points.
Again and again, they're dissecting the defense and creating those high-percentage looks from inside.
Satoransky the pass to Capella. Capella sets a screen for Young. Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in. Young's got his first basket of the night.
No defender is going to have a shot against that kind of play. He's just too tall to stop that close to the rim.
And that one's good by Favors.
Good anticipation there from Iguodala, who is a very good passer.
Paul kicks to Young. Feeds it to Capella. Screen by Young. Nobody near Barnes. Buries the long-range jumper.
And defensively, you've got to make a greater effort working over the screens.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lazy play right there. You're hoping that the guy misses the shot without really doing your job in challenging it.
And Favors kicks to Bradley. Drummond sets the screen for Bradley. Poke loose. On the wing, Iguodala. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. The feed to Young. Right wing. Paul dishes to Barnes. Barnes with another miss.
Oh, you just relish those kind of opportunities, and the defense got lucky, but they need to guard that area of the floor a little bit better.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Screen by Capella. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen.
And had the right idea there in calling for the screen, but he was just slow to get to the spot and didn't get set.
A lot of this is just poor effort right now. He knows what the timing of the play should be. It's a little lazy about what it could be.
And we've reached the end of the third. Pelicans lead by 4. From New Orleans, back in a moment. And a moment ago, inside the huddle with head coach Alvin Gentry.
Hey, let's keep it up, guys. Let's keep running.
All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. Here's Paul. On the court right now for Montreal. They've got Young. Paul out there with Satoransky. Then it's Clint Capella. And it's Barnes in at the 3 spot. Pass to Young. Over Favors. Young's shot is off. Pelicans leading by 4. A 3 from Bradley. That falls. Nice feed that time from Andre Iguodala. Bradley's got the first field goal of the fourth quarter here for the Pelicans. Here's Satoransky. From 13. Paul can't get it to go.
Not a lot of defense there. You can't afford to let guys shoot freely from the mid-range. You're not going to miss those all that often.
Now Montreal moving it up. Satoransky gets the bucket.
And such a huge play, guys. I mean, that's a 4-point swing possibly. Tremendous steal and conversion right there.
Irving kicks to Drummond. They set the pick. To the inside. Favors makes it off the glass. Favors has got the lead back up to 7 now for New Orleans.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Barnes kicks to Paul. Over Irving, and it falls over the rim and in. 16 points for Chris Paul.
Well, Paul feels so at ease shooting from the mid-range. You can see how easily that shot comes right off his fingertips, and a great release there.
Drummond passes to Irving. Drummond a screen. And here's Bradley from 3. And again, New Orleans with the triple.
Well, the defense looked lost there. Get out your compass. No excuses. You got to guard the perimeter.
And Satoransky kicks to Barnes. The pass to Paul. And stolen by Drummond. Left side, Bradley. Knocked loose. And now in transition, it's Barnes. Here we go. Pass to Satoransky. Barnes screen on Iguodala. And Satoransky kicks to Barnes. Over Irving. 5 to shoot. Young with the ball. He's picked up by Drummond. Last game in New Orleans, they picked up the win against Chicago. Favors with the screen. Irving dishes to Favors. Left side, Bradley. He feeds it to Drummond. Shoots over Capella. And Capella sends it back. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pelicans will retain possession. Irving from long range. Montreal trails by 8. A 3 from Barnes. Favors with the rebound. And 1:01 left in the fourth quarter. Drummond a screen. Bradley kicks to Irving. Over Paul. That doesn't go in either for Irving. And here's Barnes for 3. Sinks it. Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
Just like to see the defense get more aggressive. They are asking for trouble as they're giving up open looks to this point.
There's There's 37 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Here's New Orleans. And Capella over to help. The dish to Irving. In the corner, Iguodala with it. And they go to the intentional foul. First free throw is good, and that increases their lead to 6.
Andre Iguodala about as reliable as it gets. Steve Kerr calls him the adult in the room.
Montreal calls timeout. They're trailing by 6. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
And they still got a little time to play with, so a 3 and a quick foul make things interesting.
Definitely. Everything has to happen perfectly just to give them a chance.
There's 21 seconds left in the game. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. It's going to be on Kyrie Irving. He hits the first one, and that brings them within 5.
And what great leadership Chris Paul gives this squad. Definitely the heart and soul of the team.
And an intentional foul right there. And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. And he ends up making the second, and that increases their lead to 6. Montreal calls timeout. They're trailing by 6. 17 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Barnes, right side. Satoransky, the pass to Barnes. Montreal again missing. And so they foul intentionally. Gets the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Johnson kicks to Hezonja. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. So New Orleans wins it. A confident win, and one where they clearly showed the greater effort. All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's good.